Hey guys, in this video I'm going to discuss date objects. Date objects are used to work with dates and times. To create a date object, we just call the date constructor. Let date equal new date. And then we can display the date. Console.log date. And here's the current date and time, including time zone. Although it's not that readable, we can actually change that. I will set the date equal to date.toLocaleString method. And that is a lot more readable. Hey, for fun, within our DOM, let's create a label and update the label with the current date and time. So within my HTML file, I'm going to create a new label, close it. I'll give this a unique ID. myLabel is fine. And I will change the inner HTML of my label. document.getElementById. Pass in a unique ID, myLabel, change the inner HTML equal to date. Yeah, it's pretty cool, right? Now with the date constructor, if you don't pass in any arguments, date will equal the current date and time. However, if we pass 0 as an argument, 0 is a reference point for us. This is known as the epoch. It will be some date around the year 1969. Imagine this is the date where time began. Not really, but just imagine it. This is a reference point for us. Within the date constructor, we can pass an amount of milliseconds as an argument. So if I pass in, I don't know how many milliseconds that is, this will create a new date 10 million milliseconds after this date, the starting point. So 10 million milliseconds after our epoch is the same day, but 8 o'clock at night. So I'm just gonna pass in some random numbers and see what dates we get. This number equates to the date September 8th, 2001, 8 p.m. And let's see what this is. Okay, now we're in the year 33,000. So you can pass an amount of milliseconds to the date constructor, but 0 is a reference point. There are additional arguments you can pass too. The first argument is a year. Let's pick the year 2023. The next argument is the month. 0 corresponds with January. February corresponds with 1. Then you just follow that pattern. I'll pick, let's say January, so 0. The next argument's for the day, the hour, minutes, seconds, and even milliseconds. So after passing, how many arguments do we have here? I think 7. The current date and time is January 1st, 2023, about 2 in the morning. If it's easier for you, you can even pass in a string representation of a date and time. How about January 1st, 2023, midnight. That's another option available to you too. You can even get properties from a current date. If you need the year, we could assign that to a variable. Let year equal date.getFullYear. And let's display this. So the current year is 2022. Day of the month, dayOfMonth. The corresponding method is getDate. Let's display dayOfMonth. And it is the 7th currently. dayOfWeek, getDay. Sunday is 0, Monday is 1, Tuesday is 2. You just follow that pattern. Since day of week is 1, that means it's Monday. We have access to the month. getMonth. The month is currently 1. January is 0, February is 1, March is 2. You follow that pattern. We have access to hours. getHours. The current hour is 10. This is in military time. So the possible hours are between 0 and 23. Minutes. getMinutes. So the current time for me is 6 minutes after 10. Seconds. getSeconds. Every time I refresh this page, you can see that the seconds is going up. And even milliseconds. Let's name this variable ms for short. getMilliseconds. And this is pretty much updating every time I refresh the page. So if you need one of these properties of a date, you can use an associated method. You can also set these properties too. I would like to set the year of my date. Date.setFullYear. I'll pass in the year 2024. And let's display our date. So for me, I'm recording this on February 7th. but the year is changed to 2024. There's also setMonth, date.setMonth. I'll change the month to December, so that would be 11. December 7th, 2024. You can set the day of the month. Date.setDate. I'll change this to 31. December 31st, 2024. We have setHours. Date.setHours. Let's move this to 12. That would be 12 p.m. And 23 would be 11 p.m. Same thing applies for minutes. Set minutes. What about 1? Seconds. Set seconds. I don't know, 30. And even milliseconds, although we're not displaying it currently. Date.setMilliseconds and pass in some amount of milliseconds. So those are various set methods. You can set a property of a date. We can even create our own custom functions to format a date and time. So I'm going to get rid of this line. Let's create a function to format the date first. Function format date. We will accept a date as an argument. Let's create a few variables for the year, month, and day. Let year equal, and we can get the year. Date.getFullYear. Let month equal date.getMonth. And let day equal date.getDate. So let's return a string representation of the year, month, and day. Return, I'll use a template literal. So if you would like the month first, like what's displayed in my web browser, we can put the month first, then the day next, and the year. When I update my label, I will invoke the format date function that I created and pass in our date. There we go. Remember though that January is 0 and February is 1, but whoever's using this program probably won't know that. Let's add 1 to our month. There, now it's February. And for some additional practice, let's create a format time function. Function format time. We have one parameter, a date. Let hours equal date.getHours. Let minutes equal date.getMinutes. Let seconds equal date.getSeconds. Let's return a string representation of the hours, minutes, and seconds. I'll use a template literal. Hours, minutes, seconds. Let's invoke the format time function that we created. Yeah, and that's my current time, but it's currently in military time. Let's change it to standard. Let's add AM or PM. I don't know what to name this variable. AM or PM, I guess. Equals, and I'll use the ternary operator. Our condition is, we'll check if hours is greater than or equal to 12, question mark. If that's true, we will return PM. If it's false, we'll return AM. And I will display my variable AM or PM. And it is currently AM. The hours are still currently in military time, so to convert that to standard, this is one way in which we can do that. Let's reassign hours equal to, we'll write hours modulus 12. Modulus finds the remainder of any division. Then I'll use the bitwise OR operator. 12. We're taking hours modulus 12. If hours is currently 12, this expression would evaluate to be 0. Then using the OR bitwise operator, we would instead use 12. So this line will convert your hours from military to standard. So yeah, everybody, that's a few things we can do with date objects. They're used to work with dates and times. If you would like a copy of this code, I'll post all of this in the comment section down below. And well, yeah, those are date objects in JavaScript.